All right. Let's get settled in here. As soon as I can, we'll start these ad breaks. There we go. Hopefully that works. All right. So welcome back to Forager. Thank you for joining me. If you're hearing this message, you're likely listening to the VOD either on YouTube or Twitch. If so, and you don't want to hear my ad-killing pre-ramble, just wait about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You can skip ahead to that point, or until this backsplash screen that I've got going on right now goes away, and then you can get right into the gameplay. For anyone that's willing to sit and listen, thank you very much for doing so. If you're watching on YouTube, I'd very much appreciate a subscribe if you like this sort of chill, long-form content where we just play on Twitch and then upload. It would help out a bunch. If you're on Twitch, I'd appreciate your follow, because I do this for fun, and having more friends show up to chat with would be absolutely wonderful. I'd love to have you. Speaking of, if you're having trouble finding me online because you're just not getting notifications from Twitch, I would recommend that you join the Discord. There is a link to it in both the bio of Twitch and YouTube, and we've got a bunch of great people in there now, as well as meme channels, general chit chat, clips channels. You can promote your own hobbies and interests, that sort of thing. Lots of fun. On top of that, more specific to the stream, hi Jacob, welcome back. More specific to the stream, there are polls and my game list for Steam, so you can see what I have if you want something in particular to be prioritized.
Do it, lady.
Hi Conop, welcome back. There's also a countdown to fear where you can track how close I am to playing my next horror game, which I hope I never reach. Let's see. What else? Is there anything else besides that? I don't think so this time. I completed that preamble a lot faster than usual. But I guess that means we're just going to start the gameplay, because 40 seconds is not all that much. I told you, Jacob, if you want me to play Alien Isolation, I will. But I don't want to pay for it. Somebody else has got to buy it. I'm totally willing. Let's get rid of this pre-roll GIF. There we go. Alright. How are you guys doing today, by the way? Having a good night? Or a good day so far? I'm assuming Conop is just waking up. An Apple event? What do you mean an Apple event? Is that something I'm missing? Not that one. Apple like in iPhones? Wait, what? Conop is not just waking up? Oh, neat. Any ideas what those items are going to be yet? Have they hinted at them? Or anything you're hoping for? What am I looking for? The weaving table. Here we go. Right, this Kapala thing. AirPods would be a cool thing to get. I don't really like AirPods simply because they feel weird in my ears. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. I've seen, actually, let me back up. I have a little speaker behind me that I used to sleep with because I like the white noise, so I just run Game Grumps through the night on a curated playlist, which I should probably curate more so there's less screaming from Aaron in there. But I have seen some things on Amazon. They're like sleep headbands with speakers in them. So rather than having to put something in your ear, they're the over-the-ear speaker types that just slip right over top. And those look pretty comfy, but maybe only for cold climates. I can't imagine it would be too comfortable trying to sleep in a warm climate or in a hot room. That feels like an awful idea. I don't know, I've never really been fond of the in-ear bud types. They always make my ears feel itchy. I'm constantly impressed by people that have the right ear shape for them. I think I've talked about it before, but I used to really like those, the speakers that would hook over top of your ears. And they were just the single speakers with a hook on them. I liked that style, but for some reason they never caught on. Okay. Are those expensive, the Comply Dense foam tips? I don't even think about getting different inserts for them most of the time. It is not a thing that comes to mind. $12 for 3 pairs? Okay. And how long do they last? Like, how often do you have to change them out? Once every 2 to 6 months? Okay, that's not bad. $12 for a year and a half is pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Industrial ballista. That's fair. I could see how that would get gross pretty quick, to be honest. I decided to solve that problem. I think I mentioned it. I got some of the bone conduction headphones, which are pretty nice, because I have that electric scooter that I use to get out, and super nice to have. But it's difficult to listen to music with in-ear headphones, because that risks me getting hit by cars and stuff. So the bone conductions let me keep my ears open. It's also nice when I go out somewhere, because if I've got them on my head, I don't need to stop and take them off if I go to drive. Because again, they don't occlude. My phone switches over the music to the car instead of my ears. They're really comfy for me too. I've never tried the foam tips that you recommended though, so who knows, maybe those would help. Do you have any plans for the day, guys? Aside from the coolest one of just spending time with me? I always appreciate you being here. That was just a little lighthearted arrogance, not actual arrogance. It was just a joke. Well, J-Brain, what are we going to do tonight? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Now you have me wanting to sing the Pinky and the Brain theme song. That is an awful thing you've just done, Jacob, and I love you for it.
Do it.
They're Pinky and the Brain. They're Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Before the night is done, the plan will be unfurled. By the dawning of the sun, they'll take over the world. Right? You remember? I think my favorite episode, the one that I was just going to say, you remember, is it's the one where Brain lets Pinky do whatever he wants as the plan to take over the world because he doesn't have ideas. And Pinky's like, I think we should open an oyster petting zoo. And it turns out the oysters are filled with pearls, so they get super rich. And it's not until Brain starts trying to take over things when Pinky's running for president that it starts to go awry. I like that episode. That's a fun episode. Narf! Hopefully that was okay. Narf! It's hard to hit the high note level that he does. Animaniacs in general was really good, though. I like that show. Apparently, Steven Spielberg was acting as a consultant for it, I think. And he was it Schindler's List? But apparently he was like proofreading the script or editing the script while he was filming some super emotional, realistic, depressing movie. I find it hilarious that the humor of Animaniacs could be filmed amid such chaos, or written amid such chaos. See, I don't think I even saw Freakazoid. I vaguely know the story. Is it's some dude that got TV powers like The Mask, like Jim Carrey's The Mask. But I don't know anything about him beyond that. See, Konop knows. I wish I knew. I need a weapon that'll do flame damage. I think that's why I was waiting for these. Freaka me, freaka you. I need more cinder blooms too, which I think I get from the desert. Hey, get out of here. I take it was a good show. I mean, it must have been if you guys like it. For me, growing up in Canada, we had this one kid-centric station called YTV, which was just short for youth television. And it would play a whole bunch of weird, interesting kids-focused cartoons and live-action shows sometimes too. Like The Secret World of Alex Mack, I think, was one of them. And there was also some of the other ones that I remember just off the top of my head were Reboot, which was really entertaining for me as a kid. Everything took place inside of a computer with the user playing games that could delete whole sections of their city if they lost. So they were constantly going into the games to try and stop him from winning. That was neat every time. Beast Wars Transformers. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. It was the 3D CG version of Transformers, where they were on Earth, but like as prehistoric dinosaurs and creatures. Like Megatron was a T-Rex, and Optimus was a gorilla. It was basically King Kong versus Godzilla whenever they fought. There was this other one too. I've forgotten what it was called. I remember it being really interesting though. It was another CG show, like early CG, where for whatever reason there was this like interstellar war, and at some point during the show the main characters discovered that their planets were actually giant ships. So they had huge engines that would be revealed when they got to the core of the planet that could move the entire thing independently from gravity in the solar system. It was weird, but it was really interesting. And then there were the common ones that I think everyone watched. It was neat. It was really cool. I mean, nowadays the CG just wouldn't hold up, but it was a cool concept. But there were the ones everyone knew too, like Rugrats, or Hey Arnold. I still make a Hey Arnold reference in Helldivers, because there's a secret objective in the automatons at the highest level, where you can pick up a data head and you carry it to the extract. I think I remember that one, because they had the Capri Sun, like the pouch, all 3D generated, right? And it would just do a spin and a zoom out, and the liquid inside was there, you could see it, and then the straw would penetrate it, and it was like Capri Sun, and it would squeeze out the straw. It's hard to say if it's the same commercial. Canada got some really weird ones. And I mean that. Like, you can find videos on YouTube of Canada's really... Oh! Didn't it turn into a Silver Surfer? I think I remember that one too. I feel like that's what happened. Yeah, I'd appreciate that, because it's been forever since I've thought of it. Canada had really weird ads for, like, everything. Including, like, anti-drug PSAs. We had some really, really weird ones. Like, there was one where it was just a pack of 4 pills singing to you, but they were like puppeteered pills with eyes on them. It was so strange. And we had those "this is your brain on drugs" cartoons. Any questions? Or not cartoons, but the ads for that. It's like, yes, I have several questions. What does this mean? Like, they'd start out with an egg in a shell. And he'd say, "This is your brain." And then he'd crack it into a pan and it would start frying. And then it would just say, "This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?" Like, yes. It's several for a start. Several questions? Oh, I was telling the thing about Helldivers. So there's an objective on the automatons at the highest level where you can pick up a dismembered robot head and you have to carry it to extract. And I call that Arnold in reference to Hey Arnold, because you football carry it the whole way. So it's a football head. And I think that's a hilarious reference to make, even if some of the youngins don't get it anymore. there were a couple of other kids shows that I have vague memories of really enjoying, and I don't remember the titles of them anymore. Because for whatever reason, they didn't get super popular. One of them was, I think, about these kids in Hawaii that were all surfers, or like they did skateboarding and rollerblading and all that fun stuff. It was a cool cartoon, but I don't remember what it was anymore. As a slightly more grown-up, like, teenage one, I remember this one show called, Captain Something and the Soldiers of Tomorrow. What was it? Captain... I actually have to look this up, because now I've forgotten. Captain and the Soldiers... Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, I guess. It was for people just slightly older than me in age, but I remembered being enamored with it because it was very much like Power Rangers, but it focused more on like ship battles rather than individual combat with Japanese overlays. Oh, and this other really weird one that was also vaguely Power Rangers. It was called VR Troopers. And for whatever reason, they would go fight the villain in VR. And they could manifest their VR suits in the real world. It was strange. The 90s were a wild time, man. I liked it. It was just a wild time. Actually, I found something funny out last night. Apparently, in the English version of Digimon, they had to change Tai and Hikari's last name, because in Japanese, their name is Yagami, but for whatever reason, they were afraid that kids would pick up on the fact that Yagami spelt backwards is I am gay, and they didn't want kids on the playground saying that, so they just changed their entire last name to dodge that. Like, what a weird piece of censorship. Digimon lore goes deep, yo. Oh, Recess. I don't know if you guys ever saw Recess, but that was also a kid show I used to watch a lot. Yeah. Me either, Connor. Me either. But apparently the studio execs, that was the first thing they thought of. And they're like, nope, we can't have that. We gotta change the last name. Meantime, the thing I remember the most is that, you know how Ty always had those goggles around his neck? I, as a kid, just loved those things. But it was hard to pull that off as a fashion statement without being called a nerd. But now, as an adult, whenever I go out on my scooter, I have a pair of those, not those same style, but I have a pair of goggles that I wear to keep the bugs out of my eyes as I go through the park. So I inadvertently now have the same style I admired as a kid. And some weird tan lines if I go out too often. If I go sit on the park and I forget to take them off my head, I get tan lines on my head. If I spend too much time riding around, I get tan lines on my face. I used to make fun of snowboarders up here because they'd have tan lines in the winter of where their goggles go over their face. Because they're out all day on the snow with lots of sunlight reflecting upwards towards them off the snow. I guess that should be implicit. And yeah, they'd always have these really funny markings, and you could tell who was always on a hill. Because in January, if you still have tan lines, you're doing something unusual. Which I guess snowboarding probably shouldn't be considered too unusual for Canada. But, you know, I'm gonna call it that because it's more fun to call it that. Let's see. Buy land. I think I can buy another piece here. Let's get that one. And then I have to wait a little bit more. How are you not getting this stuff over here? That's what I'd like to know. Okay. Oh, so I talked about Helldivers briefly earlier. It just got a big update. It's finally cross-platform with Xbox as well, which is the first one I can think of in memory that actually does that, where they're not restricting access based on platform. So, a whole bunch of fresh players are joining in now. And of course, Arrowhead being Arrowhead, they weren't prepared, so there's all kinds of glitches and things. Sweet Liberty! My arm! Top, bottom, middle, top, middle, middle. Uh-oh. Oh, that's why. I got it the wrong way. Okay. Yes, it will. There we go. But I was in there having fun. I only got to play like one quick round with friends because we kept having connection issues. One guy was in-game, but every time I tried to join, it said either that my connection timed out or that the game session was no longer available while he's in-game. There is, yeah. Yes. So there's a assault rifle, an SMG, and a shotgun. And they're all ODST style. I guess there's a sidearm as well, like a pistol. And it's a pistol with a silencer on it. The whole like theme of the Warbond is stealth more than anything, which I found pretty disappointing because I really wanted God damn it. Of course they're taking a shower now. I really wanted the power sword. That cool little double-bladed one. The Fortnite-themed Warbond would just be an everything Warbond, because what is Fortnite's theme? Like, genuinely, they do crossovers with so much stuff. Sure, that absolutely makes sense to have in Helldivers. I can totally see them doing that. I mean, it'd be funny. I just don't think it's realistic. What's this? 25% chance to dodge. That's nice. So So I did one round of that, and that was pretty cool. But after that, I got off because I knew I needed to stream soon. So I went and did some Final Fantasy XIV playing instead. Helldivers in Fortnite would make sense, yes. I don't know about the opposite, but Helldivers does everything, so why not? Wasn't there some show doing that as well? Where it was like, I think it was called Secret Level, and they did a Helldivers thing, but it was just a very brief cameo that everybody was pissed off about. I seem to remember that being a thing. Get out of here, chicken. I'm trying to get these. Good morning, Clarissa. Welcome back. Thank you for joining as always. How you doing today? Build bridge. How you doing this fine morning? Did a full body workout and don't want to move. I can understand that. Very much so. Yep. I'm doing alright. I didn't sleep much last night, so I'm a little tired, but doing my best to get by. Thank you for asking. We just spent the morning here. I would be a lot better if the upstairs neighbors would stop taking showers right now. Fair enough. Well, hopefully you managed to have a restful day. You missed some chat this morning about kid shows as we were growing up. We were reminiscing about that. Pinky and the Brain, among other things. Animaniacs. Actually, another one, I know we're jumping back to that topic, but now that I'm thinking about it, did you guys see Real Monsters as a kid? I feel like that was such a fever dream of a show. Oh, Pepper Ann! Okay, yep. I feel like Clarissa also grew up in Canada. Okay. Can you throw that into the suggestions for me, Jacob? Just because I don't know that I will remember it by the time I'm done stream today. But I absolutely can add that as a reward sound. And I like it, so I will make that cheap and no cooldown as well. I don't think it's going to be abused that frequently. Oh, yeah. Jacob and Conop were... Thank you very much, Jacob. I appreciate you doing that. But Jacob and Conop were also geeking out about... what was it? Freakazoid. I never watched Freakazoid, so I couldn't join in, but they did, they were having a good time reminiscing about that. X-Men Evolution was a good one. God damn, Kitty was so cute. The character designs in that show were amazing. You watched a little bit of Freakazoid? Yeah. The only part of it that I know is that for some reason he got powers from a TV. And he's basically Jim Carrey's with the mask. I couldn't watch Courage the Cowardly Dog. I tried a couple of times, but it was entirely too freaky for me. I just couldn't manage it. They had some scary episodes, man. I do remember some nights staying up too late and watching Howard the Duck, which was definitely not an age-appropriate show. I just didn't know. I was like, ooh, cartoon, I'll watch this. Those ones were beyond my time. I didn't grow up watching those. But the Wild Thornberrys was another one. Jackie Chan Adventures was pretty cool. I liked that one. I think one of my favorites was actually Static Shock. Static Shock was a good series. I liked that. He is actually still one of my favorite superheroes. Although, and I don't... This is not meant to be a racist remark at all, but I saw a video where they had black guys talking about superheroes, and they're like, name one superhero who doesn't have electric-themed powers. And they were really struggling. Oh, damn. That must be quite an adventure for you, Clarissa. I always hoped for... That's true. That's true. Green Lantern. There was the Black Green Lantern. I think it was 5, not 1. Yeah. Like a shot. It might have also been that doesn't have black or an animal or something in the name and doesn't have electric powers. Because those were the most frequent ones. Because in Static Shock there is the Black Widow as well, right? And there is Black Panther. But outside of that, any black superheroes that I can think of generally have like electric powers. Surprisingly, I think I would count that, but I think somebody said that and they argued against it for whatever reason. I think because his skin was technically green. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were having a hard time with it. I think that may also have been because of the additional exceptions they kept putting on. Blade is a good one. Blade is a good one. Storm, I'm not sure if they would count that as electric powers, because she does use, storms. I know her power is the weather, but she does use storms in general, including lightning as like a favorite power. And Luke Cage is from, Invincible? I think? He got a show recently, right? On Netflix or something? Well, see, I totally understand that, because, like, she can control lots of types of weather. But I think most frequently she's shown using lightning as, like, a super powerful ability. But honestly, part of that was probably just to avoid overlap with the other X-Men with, like, telekinesis. Because, like, Jean Grey could move things with her mind, and so could Professor X. Wait, who's Blue Marvel? I'm not familiar with Blue Marvel. I didn't know we had so many comic book geeks in here. This is pretty cool, actually. Because I was not a big comic book guy. I told you before I worked in a hobby shop for probably about a year or so before it went out of business. But my job was to sell the manga. It wasn't... I had a little bit of overlap, and I tried to get into comic books, but I find the episodic nature of comic books to be a little difficult to get into. I like having a coherent story from beginning to end, so that's why I lean towards manga. Oh, right, I needed to upgrade this skill. This one? Yeah, there we go. It says structures automatically repair themselves. Lighthouses. What's this one? Colonization. Oh, that'd be nice. Can you count Cyborg as not being electric, though? Because he uses, like, sound cannons and stuff, but he does need electricity. He is a cyborg, after all. And that's not arguing against it as an exception. I'm just curious if that would count as an electric power or not. I mean, personally, she might be gray, but I think Raven is pretty cool.
Lizard.
Welcome back, Grim. Thank you for joining. No worries at all. I appreciate you being here when you can.
Lizard.
I'm sorry to hear your internet has been spotty, though. We were just trying to
Lizard.
do this challenge that I found the other day. Or that I saw some black guys doing the other day on a YouTube video, where they were trying to name black superheroes that didn't have electric powers or animals in their name. Because in the interview, they're like, we get stereotyped so hard. So far we've come up with Blade. We're using Blade as a good one, as well as Luke Cage and Green Lantern, and there were a couple other ones too. I've forgotten the entire list we've come up with so far. Either way, we're having a good time talking superheroes. I like how the instant you come, it just devolves into chaos. I'm okay with it. I just think it's hilarious. Just we're having a fun discussion about comic book superheroes, and then all of a sudden, lizard. I like it. It's fun.
Lizard.
Yep. It's interesting. Like, I don't know what the theme is. I guess they're just like, electrical powers are cool. Everybody's got to use them. Oh, Falcon is as well. Yep, Miles Morales too. So we definitely thought of more than 5 altogether. Can he? I don't know much about him. See, my interesting bit of trivia is that Miles Morales is not actually a Spider-Man. He's not. Hi, Waylord. Welcome back. Thank you for joining. But Miles Morales is not a Spider-Man. He was designed as a Spider-Man-like clone that could be used by Sony if they lost the license to Spider-Man in general. That's why he doesn't have a lot of those powers. But he's got, like, you know, stealth and climbing and I guess electrical powers as well. Yeah. But that was the thing, is they wanted a superhero they could keep using for movies that would be associated with Spider-Man even if they lost the license. And hello to Nat. Welcome back. Oh, Grim, you totally missed it yesterday. We encouraged Nat until she got the Outer Wilds. Not the Outer Wilds. I know Wailord's gonna get mad at me. Yeah! It's so nice when everybody's here. Check, it's so chaotic and fun. I like it. I appreciate the hell out of you all for showing up like this. Yes, we got Nat to get Outer Wilds. And she says she's got to put it off for a while because of life, but we did encourage her to get it. We all talked it up, and she's like, yeah, but money, I gotta save it. Good, good, good. Yep. I told her when she starts playing, I will absolutely even stay up late to watch her play. Like, we're gonna move my streams back a little bit when she starts playing so I can still get sleep afterwards. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Or I guess part of the crew, part of the ship? Yeah! Unless you're a coward like me that will get scared from water or cacti, you're fine. You're not going to have any scary points. Okay, yeah, but maybe not like me. Because again, there are no jump scares except what you jump scare yourself with by accident. Like freaking water. Just wasn't prepared for it. Scared by water. So you don't have to worry about that, I don't think. Leather bottle torch bugs. Oh, I could get that. It is not. No. It is not at all. There are points of tension if you create the tension for yourself. But it's not a scary game by nature. If you haven't seen it, by the way, or if you haven't played it, I would recommend against watching it, because it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you will never be able to unlearn if you see someone else play it first. So that would be my thought process for you, is play it yourselves before you try and watch. No matter how tempted you are to watch Nat play it for yourself first. Or better yet, stream it as well, and then we'll come watch. Because it is an amazing game. It is an excellent experience. I cannot recommend it enough. It is not a scary game at all. Not in the least. I will tell you this, Clarissa, because it's the same thing that I told Nat. You are a space archaeologist. And anything else that I tell you will risk being a spoiler. But you're just exploring and learning. And if you learn beforehand, if you watch someone else make the assumptions for you, you never get the fun of learning it yourself. So you gotta go through it on your own, and everybody will enjoy watching the process. And it's only the fear of the unknown that could be a high tension point that would lead to jump scares over silly things. And again, if you want to see some of my jump scares without spoiling too much, you can check the clips in my bio, because I have them uploaded, and it's like jump scared by an island, jump scared by a cactus, jump scared by water. Like things that shouldn't jump scare me, but because I was in a high tension state, just from not knowing what was going to happen, I did scream a couple of times. But that was my own mind making that scary. It wasn't in itself a terrifying thing. We could. Look, I enjoyed it, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's fair. I can see how anxiety would make things scarier. This is true. This is true. I have a similar approach to life in general, where it's hope for the best but prepare for the worst, and that way nothing can go wrong. So what's everyone up to today? I saw, I already asked Jacob, and I asked Conop, because they were here earlier, but I don't know about Grimm's plans, or Clarissa's plans, or Waylord's plans. I appreciate you all being here, but it's like, I'd like to know what you're doing for the day, too. Oh, nice. I see you found full-on Balatro. I still couldn't believe you can just play Balatro in the game. Oh, nice. How long have you been working on this model, Waylord? And Grim, what are you planning on streaming today? Are you going to be doing more dredge? More working out? Clarissa, weren't you already sore from the full body workout you did? I do understand that, though, if that's indeed the case. Back when I was able to get to the gym frequently, I loved going every single day. Okay, thank you for stopping in, Jacob. I appreciate you. Have a good meeting. Hopefully talk to you later. Have a good day, my friend. I really should figure out a unified way to say goodbye, because that was like 6 different ways to say goodbye in one sentence. Let's see, we're 2.8k. probably go sell some stuff. I think I've got quite a bit in here. Oh, I can actually make a fire pick now too, which will help tremendously, I think. Nope, I need death moths and demon horns, and I do not have either of those. Okay, never mind. We're not doing that, I guess. Sell. I'm gonna keep these. Sell. Pumpkins, sphinx heads. Probably keep those because I think I need them still. And I will use these. Get some more health. There we go. And I think I have enough to buy some more islands now. Yeah. So one down there and... oh, another tower. And that's all they had from... okay. I'm not actually sure at what point I should consider this game done. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying playing it, but there's not really, like, an end goal boss, as far as I know, to say, like, yeah, this is a good end point. I'm thinking maybe just when I've done the towers, or when I've unlocked all of the islands. Not 100% sure on that. I am looking forward to playing more Final Fantasy XIV later. When I sink in, I really sink in. But I understood today why I needed to take a break from it last time. Because people can be so mean, unintentionally or intentionally, I'm not sure. I was playing a dungeon today and somebody... The tank ended up dying off of the first pull, and could very well have been more the healer's fault than the tank's. And the healer had a macro set up that was so unreasonably snarky and mean. It was like, well, thank you very much for an example of what not to do. Now come rejoin your friends in the living. And it's like, why would you say that? Like, what a jerk move. And I called him out on it because the healer was starting to be like, you can pull more, you know. I'm like, well, I'd be disincentivized if I was the tank. Like, why would you say this? And he just didn't seem to understand what a mean thing to say it was. He was arguing against me the whole time, and I'm like, what is going on here? Yeah. And I bring it up. I'm like, you know, I would be so disincentivized to actually do bigger pulls if I'm just going to be met with your scornful remarks from your macro. And the healer immediately jumps in like, this is why people can't have any fun in this game. You're so sensitive. And I'm like, what? And he was calling me a jerk. He's like, you're not the hero, bud. And I'm like, well, maybe not, but you're proving yourself to be a villain with this. I would prefer to play with friends as well, but unfortunately, the duty finder means you're paired with whoever you're played with. Yeah, I had my fill of that kind of attitude with playing League of Legends. I don't want to ever experience that again, to be honest. That was so toxic. It made me miserable, but I kept going back, thinking and hoping it would be better, and it just wasn't. That's why I have to be very careful about how much time I put into Final Fantasy XIV, because I don't want to turn into that kind of person, which can be easy to do if you're not being very careful. Oh, that's awful. I'm sorry, Clarissa. Well, you know, you're always welcome to play with me if you ever see me going online. Because I do have my thing set up to show when I'm online. You're always welcome to play with me. You just let me know and I can jump in a game with you, no problem. See, that's very silly to me, especially because we're just getting a whole wave of level 1s in. I don't understand why people would kick. Even if I'm waiting for friends, it's usually like, hey, sorry man, I was actually holding this spot for someone who's going to join. He was just taking a minute. I'm going to have to kick you if you don't leave, but it's nothing personal. Right? Like, I try not to be a jerk about it, even if there's not space. I don't understand this silent kicking. That feels like such a dick move. Although, and I've told Jacob about this story before, why are they still showering upstairs? God, this is annoying. I've told Jacob this story too, but there was a time I got, I think it's called Guns of Icarus, in the Humble Bundle. And I'm not joking or exaggerating this at all. I had such a fun time with the tutorial. I was excited to go into my first match and start learning and start playing. But because I wanted to do that and I wanted to learn my way, I wasn't just going to bend over when the other people in the party told me to do something. So I was like, no, I'm not bringing this equipment. I want to bring this equipment. And I guess because I was set in my ways, regardless of the fact that we won and it was basically a flawless victory, they started saying things like, oh, he must be a Smurf account. And then I got reported after my first match. Like, I got a pop-up saying that I was reported, and I'm sitting there dumbfounded, like, do you not want people to play your game? What the hell? It was a very frustrating experience. I couldn't believe that. It was shocking. It was truly dumbfounding. Yeah. It wasn't even like we lost. We won. It was a flawless victory, and they still reported me. I couldn't believe it. How does that even register as the thing to do in this situation? I don't get it. But after that, I uninstalled the game, and I never played again. So, problem solved. I think I even removed it from my Steam account entirely, so if I wanted to play, I'd have to rebuy. And I do not want to play. I am over that thought. Honestly, it's the same reason I have reservations about playing Sea of Thieves. Yep. Yep. There was one guy, he was a friend of someone that I was playing with that I vaguely knew from the Discord server I was in, and we were playing on, oh yeah, people can be real jerks. Like, I got shit for bringing the UAV recon booster on a map where we couldn't see the objectives. And it was not a Terminid. Yeah, it was a Terminid map. So, like, I brought it so we could find stalker nests easier, where you can't see anything either on the map or on the ground, and he's trying to give me shit for it, like it's a bad stratagem and there's no reason to bring it. And I'm like, okay, it's not your choice, I get to choose, and if you keep bringing this up, I'm just gonna leave. And he wouldn't drop it, so I just left, and then I blocked him, and I haven't seen him since, and I'm happy with that. I don't understand why people think being judgmental is the way to get someone to fall in line. But if people gonna be dumb, people gonna be dumb. It's the beauty of blocking. You don't have to play with them. Are these all... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Are these all things in bottles? It might be. I don't know. This is a weird one. I'll think about it later when I have more items. I don't think it's going to be one of the towers that gives me things. Anyway, point being, Clarissa, if you ever see me online and you want to play, feel free. Yeah, people can be real jerks. But if you would ever like to play with me, you are more than welcome. Just invite me or join the game or whatever. I am happy to play with you, Clarissa. Sure, yeah, we can do that. I am surprised you're not on my friends list, actually. But you can also just hit me up in Discord, too. Because I'm there as well. I think on Steam... I don't have you as a friend on Steam, either. Yeah, we'll make it work. We can trade friend codes and stuff next time I'm on. I'll just DM it to you. Because I am totally okay playing with you guys. Okie dokie. Sounds good. Grim was kind of poking at me the other night. She sent me a meme about Peak. And I was like, okay, but are you sending me this because you want to play Peak? Or you just thought it was funny? And she's like, a little of both, but if you're gonna play this time, you can't run off. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just how I am. It's how I play Helldivers 2. It's a team game, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna go do this. This looks fun. I have only played it once, and I streamed it once, and it was with Grim and Anvil, her husband. And I haven't played it since, but I've been getting an awful lot of YouTube videos about it suggested to me now. Is Peak not on console? We have to hold hands to get up the mountain? But my hands are all clammy. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know how they do it, but I love the character models where the mouths move when you actually speak. I think that's really cute. I'd try. I just don't know that I'd be good at it, okay? I'm willing to try. I just can't promise anything. I've got Sailing Bandito who wants to play multiplayer Raft with me at some point, which would be cool. I'm still running the single player series, so I wouldn't upload it to YouTube, but I would absolutely stream it with him. What else? I'm just thinking of multiplayer games that I would stream or have streamed. I played Grounded with No Brainer for a bit, but I am absolute dog water at that game. The combat is way too difficult for me, so I just end up dying and dying and dying and never being able to recover my stuff and never being able to improve. So that one's a little iffy for me. Not super fond about that. I know Fode. Oh, yes, I have Ale and Tail. I haven't even fired that one up yet. I got it during the last Steam sale. I will absolutely be wanting to play that at some point. I know Fode, who I play Helldivers with, he wants to play, I think it's Journey with me. It's the one with, it's very similar to Abzu. It's made by the same company, but it's the one with the dude in the long red cape. Discounty? What is Discounty? I have heard that. I've only seen a couple minutes of... Well, it's either like a long red cape or like a scarf that keeps getting longer every time you get upgrades for it, and it allows you to float or fly. I know very little about it. Yeah, okay. Well, scarf, cape, same thing, less material. Anyway, he wants to play that one with me. I don't know much about it. I know Abzu is made by the same team that did that. It's like a later game. And Abzu was beautiful, but it was a one-off because I completed it in just the one sitting of like 3 to 4 hours. So I think I would definitely want to get Journey on sale. I got Abzu on sale as well. It was under $6, and that was a fair price for it. But full price is like $20 Canadian, and I just don't know that I'd have been happy with that. I'd have been very upset if I had paid $20 for it. So we'll get that eventually. I thought I saw that, Conop. I don't remember what it was called, but I think it showed up on my Steam information feed thing. Like, you know how they have that in your library? They've got that section for games you've got installed when they got updates. There's a little link to that patch note info. One that I'm kind of interested in getting is actually a DLC for Astroneer. Yes, Sword of the Sea, that's right. And I think you use the sword as the surfboard, right? It looked like he was surfing on it. He or she, I don't remember the character model now. It looked interesting. I do like those games. I just, they are so short, I don't know about paying full price for them. Honestly, Clarissa, that's why I upgraded my PC. That's why I keep upgrading my PC. I don't find consoles have a good enough game spread for my interests anymore. I have a lot of console games, but the latest ones, like for my Switch, I have 4 games, maybe 5. It's like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Tears of the Kingdom, and Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, absolutely. Getting into PC gaming can totally be expensive. There are budget builds you can do that will actually do pretty good things if you're knowledgeable about building computers. But you also have to be cool with secondhand parts and things. And you have to know what works together. Yeah. That's fair. I totally get it, Clarissa. Well, I can tell you one thing. I fully plan to be as kind and generous as I can if I ever get to be like mega streamer size. Because I don't care about big fancy houses or big fancy cars. So I would absolutely be like, oh, Clarissa doesn't have a computer? Let's get her a computer. And then just buy you a computer. Obviously, I can't do that now, but if I ever get to that point, you better believe I would happily do that. I would just be happy to be out of the basement suite I live in. I think a little tiny house would be a good thing for me. Because they have some pretty nice tiny houses now. I don't know if you've seen them, but like, do you know the buildings from... why can't I remember the name of it? From Subnautica. How they've got that very distinct, like, roundish, kind of futuristic prefab style. You can just buy tiny homes like that now. They're not super expensive. They're made out of metal, so they're super sturdy. They just ship them to you. And that would be, like, perfect size for me. The only thing that I would do as like an add-on, if money were no object, is I would want to get a little, like a hot tub as well. A hot tub and an enclosure. Because tiny homes don't usually come with bathtubs, they come with showers. And totally fair, like whatever, that's cool. I like taking showers. But for my pain, I like to have something to soak in. And a hot tub outside would be so nice. Oh my goodness, I would love that. Oh yeah. Like just a little enclosure outside, one of those, not privacy tents, but they do have like hot tub gazebos basically. And the whole purpose of it is just to keep the hot tub warm. Oh, I would not want a inflatable hot tub. I would want like an actual nice one. Right now I have... Yeah, see, RVs are iffy. Mainly because you have to park them somewhere. And people really hate when you just park in neighborhoods and things. You have to have the land that you want to go put it on. But some of them are like super nice now. My parents got a, not an RV, but like a nice camping trailer. And I could absolutely live in that thing. Like it's nice and spacious. And there's this, this like side pop out that expands out the side. I would totally be able to live in there. That's fair. That is fair. It would be a good idea for a single person, but for a family, there's not enough space and there's not enough privacy long term. At least as far as I'm concerned. Like sometimes you just need space for yourself, and you can't get that in a trailer or a tiny home. There is no space for yourself. All the space is shared space. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I'm sure it would be nice when your kids grow up to have them say, not I can't move out, but that I want to live with you still. I think that would be an excellent measure of being a parent, is if your kids love you that much. That's fair. That is totally fair. Especially in California, I hear space is a luxury a lot of people don't have. So I 100% understand that. Although, from what I've heard, New York is even worse. Like, I've seen some of the horror story apartment videos where people are like, this is what I pay $4,000 a month for, and it's like barely big enough for them to lay down in. Actually, have you seen some of those, yeah, have you seen some of the ones in Japan too? Like, there have been a couple that I've seen where, it's, oh, hold on, I gotta kill this thing before I start thinking. I was scratching my head. I saw one in particular that was really interesting. It was, like, attached to another building, so it was a tiny home, but it was, like, 4 floors of tiny home. Yeah. Cheap, but cheap for a reason. I don't know that I want to do that. That, and because of my particular health issues, anytime I have to climb or put in excessive amounts of energy to get anywhere, it wouldn't end well for me. That I couldn't live in a house with multiple floors or like 10 steps to get to the next floor. The other day when I was talking to the specialist about my condition, I said to him, like, my driving range is 10 minutes, so to get out of the house and not be depressed, I got an electric scooter, and I only have to haul it up 5 stairs in order to get it outside, but those 5 stairs are so taxing on me that I have to stop and have a break and a coughing fit because of how much effort I put in. Well, that's fair. Honestly, minimalist lifestyles are pretty good. When you get a crap ton of stuff, you don't use it all, and you realize how much junk you have to deal with as a result. Honestly, I think most of my stuff could fit into a single room overall. Aside from like kitchen stuff, which would have to go in cupboards, I think most of my stuff could fit in a single room. If I had to move into a tiny house today, I probably could without too much effort. Yep. The things that take up the most room for me are my collections of manga and video games. That's it. That's my stuff in general. I don't even know when the last time I went clothes shopping was. I genuinely, this is not an exaggeration, I genuinely have clothes from when I was in junior high school still. I desperately need to go shopping at some point to get more clothes. I don't have a lot, I just use it forever. Yeah, but you said 3 kids, right? So Legos and minis and 3 kids, I can absolutely see how that would take up a lot of space. I think anything that involves your hobbies can't really be considered clutter. I really think you have to make exceptions for that. Unless it's something like your hobby is something you also sell, like woodworking stuff or art if you can sell those. I think that's cool too. Oh, you guys want to hear an embarrassing story from when I was younger? Speaking of selling art and things. Because I already told you about the girl that reported me for flirting because I teased her about burning the waffle cones when I was a security guard. But another one that I forgot to tell you about is that one time I went to one of my local like comic or anime conventions, one that I don't usually go to, and I went there with a friend, and so said friend that I went with introduced me to a friend of hers, meaning this girl was a friend of a friend selling art at this convention. And so I was like, hey, you know what? Do you go to this other anime convention that's in town? Because I go there every year. I'd love to have someone to go with. Like, it'd be awesome having friends. And she seemed on board with it. She was like, yeah, sure. And she gave me her number, and I was like, okay, I'll give you a call closer to when it's time. We can make plans for it. And so, like, 4-6 months go by, whatever, the next time the convention comes around, and I went to keep my promise, and I tried to call her to set things up, and, surprise, surprise, I guess she was weirded out by me or thought I was flirting. She gave me the number to her parents' house. I'm like, God damn it, I just wanted a friend to go to this convention with. I wasn't flirting. I wasn't being weird. I just was lonely. I don't have a good past with women. I am not a skilled personage in dealing with the fair sex. No, apparently she hadn't lived there for like 4 years at that point. At least that's what her parents told me, is she hadn't lived there for years. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, alright then. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tremendously ugly. Eventually you guys will probably find out, but maybe that's all. I don't know. I don't know why. All I know is that it did happen that she gave me a number to her parents' house. Maybe she just felt pressured to give me a functioning number because the both of our friends, or the friend to both of us, was there. Yeah. Women are hard. I don't get it. But Grim knows I am incredibly skilled with women, clearly. That is sarcasm beyond sarcasm. It's life. I got over it. But that was another embarrassing story from my past. I have many of them to tell. Yeah. I can tell you a funny story about my sister, though. One time, when I was young, she was playing tag with some friends that she knew in the dark at like an event we were at. I don't remember what the event was. It was many years ago now. And there was one of those playgrounds outside. You know, one of the old school playgrounds. The fun ones back from when I was a kid. And I guess she was running away from someone while they were playing tag and wasn't watching where she was going. So she smashed her face against the monkey bars, and she actually ripped her nose a little bit off her face. So we had to leave that event so she could go get stitches and reattach it. You can still see the scars on that center piece of her nose. Yeah, that one was rough. My family is fairly accident prone. So, like, I have been in a straitjacket so many times that I have a trauma about it. Like, a knee-jerk reaction. I don't mind them anymore because now I understand the purpose of them, and I definitely understand why I was put in them at the time. They can't exactly give you stitches when you're thrashing about so hard that multiple adults can't hold you down. But, yeah, like, I got pushed off of those large yellow twirly slides. I got pushed off of that once. Had to get airdropped at a hospital because we were out in the middle of nowhere at this school. What else? Yeah, I climbed a cupboard as a kid and pulled it off the wall and got it jammed in the corner of my forehead. Needed a lot of stitches for that. One time I broke into the chemical cabinet and sprayed oven cleaner in my eyes. I've been bitten by black widows twice. Let's see, what else? I have had a very accident-prone life. That might be why I lean so heavily into the thought pattern of hope for the best but prepare for the worst, because I end up doing a lot of stupid things. I injure myself a lot. How many? I need to get another skill point spent. What are we gonna do here? This one, colonization. And that way, islands are cheaper. And I finally have the whole map of skills revealed, except for this one. Not sure what that one would be. Lighthouses, mining rods. Ooh, double area of efficiency. That'll be huge. Okay, yeah, we're getting that one next. My son, when he was like 1.5, had his head hit with a metal swing. A metal swing? Ouch. Yeah, that's rough. I'm glad stitches were all he needed. Or staples, I guess, were all he needed. That could have been a lot worse, like in terms of concussions or things. Oh, yeah, that's a rough one. That is a rough one. Did I ever do that? Oh, you know, that brings back a memory. Not the same memory, but one time my sister was putting on water for tea or something, and she asked me to unplug the kettle. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll be helpful. Yeah, damn. Hopefully it's not a super noticeable bald spot for him. But my sister asked me to unplug the kettle one time, and I reached over the spout of the kettle that was boiling, and I gave myself this huge burn on the underside of my arm because the steam was so hot that it just obliterated me. And I didn't know steam was hot for some reason. I just didn't think about it. Yeah, I was not smart. I was not a smart kid. Oh, there was another one. What was I just gonna say? Oh, there was also a time I nearly burned the house down. By accident, of course. but my sister was talking to someone that had come to the door while she was babysitting me, and like a totally unexpected visitor. She was trying to get rid of him, but while she was there, I was hungry and I thought I would do something nice, so I wanted to make lunch. But I was young enough that I didn't really understand the concept of food making food. So I grabbed a pan and I turned on the heat and I threw a pen in because I thought we could cook a pen and that could be lunch. And yeah, that melted the pen to the pan. As you might expect, that did melt the pen to the pan. We did have to throw it out. Reasonably so. The most traumatic thing that happened to me as a first-time mom was that my hair somehow got wrapped around my son's toe and almost fully cut off the circulation. Holy crap, yeah, that'd be bad. A hair tourniquet, oh my goodness. That would have been awful. See, I blame my clumsiness on my mom. She has never been super coordinated either. Apparently her pinky toe on one of her feet, she dropped a knife on it once and cut it off. And they were able to reattach it, but I guess it didn't reattach well. So it's still kind of crooked on her foot. Which is really weird. It's rotated a little bit. See, ponytails are cool though. That's fine. I like ponytails. I remember seeing this one chart or like a graphic that made me laugh my ass off though, because it was a correlation of ponytail angle versus intelligence, I think is what the title of the picture was. And it had the low ponytail down at like around the shoulders being intelligent or like higher IQ than normal, and then the one around the middle of the back of the head was normal IQ, and then there was one on the top of the head that was low IQ, and then they did another one where it was attached in front of the head, blocking the eyes, and it said theoretical 0 point. And I just love that. A theoretical 0 point of intelligence because the ponytail's tied in front of your eyes. Oh, it was such a good visual joke. I laughed so hard. That's a good one to think of. Every once in a while it comes to mind and I just enjoy the thought. Theoretical 0 point. Ooh. Oh man, good times. I'm still gonna be giggling about that for a while. Let's try that one. Oh, that one's not even... That's not good. That one's not even the end point. There's more to go south. Alright, let's see. Ooh! Somehow I got in and survived. I'm okay with that. Okay. Let's use some of these. Going to max out my health first. Because once you hit max health, you can just start upgrading other things. Because it disappears. There we go. I think I'm going to be playing this for another 20 minutes today. And I it's actually kind of a really good place to stop, I think. Because every 2 hours or so, I start getting to the point where I'm overwhelmed with things that I want to do, or things that I'm trying to do. So 2 hours is like, yeah, it's time for a break from this anyway. I really want to get back into King's Quest, which is going to be the second game for today if I keep playing it. But because when we start into this, it'll be completely blind for me. Chapter 3, I've only played for like half an hour, 40 minutes, and nothing beyond that, and we'll be starting Chapter 3. But by the same token, I'm still like so thoroughly sucked into Final Fantasy XIV that I might just want to go back into that for the rest of the day. Which I think would be pretty fair, because I have only taken the 1 day off from streaming in the last month because of the doctor's appointment that I couldn't control. I have been pretty consistent. If I want to spoil myself with a little Final Fantasy, I think I might do that. I think that would be an okay thing for me to do every once in a while. And because I don't have chat on screen and I can say this and nobody can tell me otherwise, Clarissa, why are you saying such mean things to me about that? I'm sorry, I need a break. Stop trying to make me do more. Which, for clarification, she's not. I just said it because I thought it'd be funny. Sometimes I am a bad person like that. I thought it was humorous. Let's see. What else should I do before we call the end here? I can probably sell some stuff. That'd be a good idea. I'm waiting for those to keep making gold. I don't have anything else that I need. Let's see. Sell the eggs, sell the bones, pumpkin, slime. Do I have anything else I can upgrade? That's a good question. Demon sword requires horns. Crystal amulet. I don't have a frozen relic. Royal shovel. I don't have cinder blooms. Where do I even get cinder blooms from? I don't know. I don't think it's up here. Oh, I sold all my animal poop. Damn it. Oh well. Back to collecting again. Cinder bloom, cinder bloom. I think they're supposed to be over here, but I haven't seen any for a while. That's alright, it's not a big deal. I think I can buy another island. I can almost buy two. We'll get this one for now. And it looks like another factory? That's interesting. Oh, I can get demon horns here, though. That'll be good. I'm finally in the right range to get those. Yeah, there we go. Hey there, I am an engineer. You can tell I am smart and pretentious because I told you what my job is even though you didn't ask. Just like a vegan. Anyway, since I'm better than you, go fetch me a few materials from my factory. Okay. Well, there you go. Here is your reward. Okay. Hey, I got an engineer hat. I need a key. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, I can just use this to make stuff now. That's helpful. Come, Mr. Key. Open. Open. There we go. What's this? Fish traps collect themselves. Yay! Oh, I was hoping for something like that. That's huge. That shall help tremendously. I didn't need bottled water. Oh well. Grab that. And I don't even know what these are. I'm gonna break these and see. Just a bunch of iron. Okay, well, that's fair. Does this guy say anything else? Inspecting mirrors is a job I could easily see myself doing. I appreciate that pun. Yep. I like that pun. That's a good pun. Oh, I came up with a good one earlier and I've forgotten what it was now. Oh, yes. So do you guys know what a family gathering of ambulance drivers is called? It's called a family reunion. Gone Up hasn't had to do that one for a while. I'm hilarious. Y'all don't even know. I thought that one up playing Helldivers earlier. I still have to work on the delivery, but I think it's funny. I think it's funny, okay? You can't tell me it's not. I mean, you can. Humor is subjective, but still, I won't listen to you if you tell me it's not. This sign can't keep me out because I can't read. Man, is Arthur even still airing? Probably not. I feel like it ran for a long time, though. I still miss Rupert. Rupert was a good kid show. Oh, yes, by the way, sorry. See you later, Clarissa. Thank you very much for letting me know you're going. I appreciate you hanging out as much as you could. And have a good day. I hope I didn't miss you or miss saying goodbye to you. I do appreciate your presence. It totally slipped my mind. You said goodbye and I didn't even think, like a dum-dum. Let's see. I might actually just call it here for today. It's a little short of the 2-hour mark by like 10 minutes. But honestly, I am really hungry. I could use some food. So I might go do that. I haven't gotten groceries in a while, so I might have to go get some food, which will suck. But anyway, let me stop this here. And then I will do a raid. Yeah. And that way you guys get some more channel points you can use. And I will be back later. Maybe. We'll see. I might get soaked into Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah. Thank you for hanging out, Nat. As always, I appreciate you being here as well. Same to everyone that stopped by today, but especially Waylord and Nat and Clarissa and Conop who are still here. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Stick around for the raid if you want the channel points. If not, I won't hold it against you. No worries. I think that's about it.
Twitch
and
chat. Century, please report.
Pachi seems to be the only one online, so I will send you guys to her because she was really nice last time. And I will probably end up having to talk to her for a few minutes because she is very nice. And she takes great interest. So, Pachi VT, there we go. I will see you guys next time.